Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going over a lot of Battlefield 6 news, everything from Portal getting 60 Hz eventually, TTK changes that are upcoming, new screenshots of one Season 2 map, and Galmud Railway eventually returning to the game in a later season. We have a lot to go over, so let's get right into it. If you enjoy the content and want to stay up to date with BF6, this is the channel for you. Hit the sub button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. What do you think about all this stuff, particularly about Galmud Railway being a map they choose to come back? We'll be talking about that a lot more in this video. The first thing they mention in this brand new community post is, of course, they'll be using labs to, quote, further polish and refine Season 2 content, validating changes and making final tuning adjustments ahead of the launch, while continuing to apply what we learn as we evolve the experience. Then they go on to reveal one of the new maps that we'll be getting in Season 2. It is called Contaminated. They mention this map has unique gameplay mechanics, and the map is called Contaminated, and the Season 2 trailer featured gas. So let me guess, there's some sort of toxic gas on this map. They go on to say they're going to be using labs to evaluate how vehicle gameplay and aerial presence interact with infantry combat alongside cover and asset placement, as well as objective boundaries. For those of you curious as to how large Contaminated is as a map, DICE says it is comparable to maps such as St. Quentin Scar from Battlefield 1 or Arras from Battlefield 5. So while the map isn't the biggest Battlefield map, it doesn't really matter. It is large enough to satisfy the Battlefield player base and is comparable to some previous games' fan favorites. Taking a look at the screenshot they provided for Contaminated, it is very difficult to look at this and not think of Battlefield 1's Monte Grappa. I'm not the only person that thinks that. Take a look at this meme that Flakfire created. Looks damn near identical, at least from this angle. For all we know, the layout of Contaminated could be significantly different from Monte Grappa, but at least from this angle, it's gonna have a similar look and feel, which is probably a good thing for Battlefield players. Monte Grappa was a map that people did seem to enjoy in BF1. They go on to say that alongside their Season 2 map testing, upcoming Battlefield Lab sessions will also include a handful of additional gameplay-focused tests. This includes early testing of the Little Bird ahead of its planned arrival in Season 2. I imagine the Little Bird will be one of the most anticipated vehicles ever added to this game. It is definitely a franchise staple. The next section of this post is titled On the Horizon, and they immediately say this will include initial testing of aircraft radar. I just think it's sad that we're like months into the release now and they're talking about initially testing a system that is essential for air vehicle gameplay. But you know, it's Battlefield in 2026, what can you do? They go on to say that in parallel with aircraft radar testing, they will be exploring a, quote, tuning package surrounding RPGs and tow missiles. I imagine it will be some sort of RPG velocity nerf and a tow missile control nerf. At least that is what I hope it is. And in the last part of this section, they mentioned they're going to be trying to fix people dying behind cover, desync behavior, and improving hit registration and overall combat consistency. David Sirland emphasized that these issues are, quote, rarely tied to a single change, but instead require careful iteration across multiple systems, extensive testing, and time to validate results at scale. Basically, it's going to take a lot, all right? That's really the TLDR there. Now onto one of the biggest talking points in this entire community post, the fact that they are going to be bringing back a, quote, fan favorite map from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield Labs, and it is none other than Galmud Railway. It is important to point out that Galmud Railway is not coming in Season 2. They specifically mention it will be coming in a future season. I saw a lot of confusion surrounding this. They go on to say about Galmud Railway that it is being rebuilt for today's Battlefield, not simply ported forward. Their goal is to preserve what made the map so memorable, particularly its combined arms gameplay, while improving how it plays and supports Battlefield 6 systems. Galmud is planned to be the largest map in Battlefield 6 to date, and they're going to be bringing Galmud Railway over onto a multi-session testing protocol in Battlefield Labs to test changes such as larger flight space and other adjustments to the maps made over time. So, the largest map in Battlefield 6. Initially, I saw some confusion and some concern surrounding the fact that people were basically just saying, oh, well, DICE is going to shrink Galmud Railway like they shrinked Operation Firestorm, but that was quickly shut down by David Sirland on Twitter, stating that it isn't smaller and that you should sign up for Battlefield Labs to find out. So, I'm sure the biggest question here is, why did they pick Galmud Railway? I have to say, I don't think this is the best pick they could have made if they're going to bring one of these older maps back. But this is a very faceted and complicated situation, so I understand to a certain extent why they wanted to bring Galmud Railway back. I think they saw the criticism surrounding Battlefield 6's maps and not having too many Battlefield large sandbox maps, combined arms gameplay, all this sort of thing. And they looked at Battlefield 4 and they said, hey, you know, we have all these 24/7 servers that people have been playing Galmud Railway on for years. Why don't we bring Galmud Railway back to try to satisfy some of these people complaining about the maps? But I still don't think it was the best choice. Actually, I think it's quite a poor choice in comparison to some other options, such as Rogue Transmission, for instance. And for me personally, being an avid, experienced player of Galmud Railway back in the day, you probably can't tell that from my background gameplay now, but I used to play Galmud Railway all the time in Battlefield 4, particularly in vehicles. And for me, the main attraction for Galmud is playing in vehicles. And it's no secret that vehicles are one of the largest issues in Battlefield 6 right now. So, with the vehicles in the state they're in, I'm not even particularly attracted to even spawn in on Galmud Railway a single time now. And on top of the vehicle thing, how are snipers going to be balanced on this map? Because it's not going to play like Battlefield 4. Snipers in this game have 400 meters per second faster muzzle velocity than the fastest snipers in BF4. So I anticipate sniping is going to be pretty OP on Galmud Railway, and the vehicle gameplay is going to be a shadow of its former self. This is why I say Galmud Railway wasn't as great of a choice. You look at other choices like Zavod or Rogue Transmission, those maps have great sandbox vehicle gameplay, but they also have great infantry areas as well. Most of the infantry combat on Galmud is going to be focused on the 3 flags that are on the northernmost portion of the map in the city. Unless DICE plans to add a ton of cover that wasn't there previously on Galmud Railway, playing infantry on this map in BF6 is going to be a nightmare. And part of me is left confused because how are they going to adapt Galmud Railway to Breakthrough? My guess is they're not going to have Breakthrough available on Galmud Railway because you look at the layout of the map, and if they keep it faithful to the original, Galmud Railway isn't designed to be linear. It is basically like a giant oval of a map. You're not going to carve out a well-thought-through Breakthrough layout from a map that was designed a decade ago before Breakthrough was even a game mode that was in Battlefield. So overall, I am not a fan of seeing Galmud Railway return. I think it's a missed opportunity, and I think it's a poor map choice, but we'll just have to see how it shapes up. My final thought on it for the moment is the better you make the vehicle gameplay, the better Galmud Railway is going to play. So I would love to see an emphasis on really improving the vehicle side of things in Season 3 if that is when Galmud Railway is slated to come out. Later on in this post, after Galmud, they start talking about Battle Royale solo testing. So for those of you that play RedSec, solos will apparently eventually be added to the game. They just have to figure out a bunch of pacing stuff, and they're going to put it through its testing phase. And I want to leave you guys off in this video with a couple of great dev comments that tell us some great information about the future of Battlefield 6, both from Tigger. First of all, he replies to someone on Twitter and says that, yes, Portal will be trying to add 60Hz servers eventually, so that's huge for this game. And then, another big one, they are actively looking at TTK testing. David Serlin says we'll talk about that in testing too, and netcode. We have many changes that need validation and getting things just right, which this multiple test setup is perfect for as well. So that about wraps up the news. A lot of stuff I want to hear from you guys, particularly about Galmud Railway. I understand for some people it is a fan favorite map, but I think objectively we can just agree that it's just not as good as some other maps that achieve the same thing. So let me know what you think. If you enjoy the channel, be sure to hit the sub button, hit the like button, and comment down below all your thoughts. Swing by stream. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders, and you better believe I'm going to be giving you my Day 1 Season 2 thoughts as soon as it drops. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.